Hello, friends. We're ready for another white-haired wisdom with Carrie and Trell.
Yeah, and Trell, you know that I've got a little inflammation in my wrist here and in my knees, in my ankles, in my hips. And folks, we want to talk today about how you can be healthy as you age. And you know, if you don't take care of the body, it'll basically get stiff and you won't be able to move, won't be able to do anything. And a lot of it comes with age, but a lot of it is lifestyle.
Definitely.
Yeah, and as you know, I've started the Dani Williamson food program, and in the last 20 years, I've gotten twice into really good condition using real extreme diets. And so we're not advocating an extreme diet. Dani talks about getting rid of inflammation in the body, and we're going to go to one of her clips in a minute, but I actually met Dani Williamson. She is one of the most sought-after health practitioners in the Nashville, Tennessee area. Her office is just south of Nashville in Franklin, Tennessee. And if you want to see her, it takes 6-8 months to get an appointment. That's how busy she is, because she does an amazing job helping people with their health. And my daughter had a health issue 7 or 8 years ago, and she went to Dani, and Dani helped her. And so she was a patient of Dani's, and she introduced me to Dani 2 or 3 years ago, and we've become great friends. But she wrote this book called Wild and Well, which is a fabulous book on healing the body.
Yes, and it's very plain and easy to understand. And her products are totally wholesome. She has a whole inventory and shop, actually, at her office that can give you those wellness, not only information and tips and tests, but also the products.
Yeah, and so she has some amazing information on how we can reduce inflammation in the body. In fact, she says that inflammation is the devil, and it will create create problems in our body, create disease. So basically what I've done is I've followed her protocol. In the last 15 years, when I've been real heavy and gotten in really good condition, I did it advocating a basically raw, an 80% raw, 20% cooked food, and kind of a vegan diet. In fact, I think it was '06 when I wrote this book, Young Again, where I'd gotten, really fat and out of shape, and then I got in bodybuilder condition. I mean, I worked myself half to death and dieted, and I'm not recommending you buy this book. It's just a little book. It just basically advocates, doing a plant-based diet, mostly raw, and I love the program, but it's so hard to do that you can't sustain it. You can't stay on it, for any length of time.
Mm-hmm. And that's the important thing. Diets are temporary. Changes can be permanent. And I'm talking about nutritional changes, where you just know that you eat good. That's more important than any kind of diet program.
Yeah, and Dani's program is basically just eliminating inflammatory foods in your diet. And I had the opportunity to have her on the show a couple of times, my television program called In Your Corner. And I'm going to give you a little excerpt that we're going to go to in just a moment here. And I would venture to say that this little excerpt that we share of her story is worth $1 million if you're sick. It's worth whatever your health is worth to you. So I want to go right now to this little clip that I did. I think it's 6 or 7 minutes with Dani Williamson, and she's going to give you some of the best health tips you have ever heard in your life. I guarantee it. Wouldn't you agree, Trell?
I would agree. And I think it is not an exaggeration to say it can be life-changing.
It can be life-saving. So watch this with Dani, and we'll come back and say goodbye after we watch this little clip with Dani Williamson right now. Let me ask you this. We talked last time, we talked about the standard American diet.
Yes.
And you already knew it, but it's been determined that, you and I both know that God made this body of ours an amazing body. He made it to self-heal.
You bet.
But a lot of people are cramming so much junk in their body that they've got sickness. And start off with your story. That's kind of the way you were when you were a younger lady.
I was 20 years old when I had my very first colonoscopy, and I had 4 colonoscopies before the age of 40. Endoscopies, barium enemas, diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome as a young kid at 20. And then I itched for years, saw 2 dermatologists, given lots of medicine for that, but yet they have not connected. The health of the gut is directly evident by the health of the skin. So what they were giving me was just fixing something topically, right? Your health of your skin comes from the inside. Then I was diagnosed with lupus. That was a booger. And then I was depressed. So that was a booger. So I spent 24 years seeing doctors, not being able to stop, right? But I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good. I was not 100%, which is how God designed our bodies to be, 100%, right? I didn't feel well. And it took from 20 to 44 before a doctor ever leaned into me and said, Dani, what are you eating, right? Do you know your
something about
diet?
nutrition. No other docs. All they want to do is give you a pill. They want to put you on a monthly payment plan for the pharmaceutical companies, and that's really what it's all about. It's money, isn't it?
You bet it is. And I was on multiple medications throughout the 24 years and never did like them. I didn't know anything about functional medicine, right? And so, but I just knew internally that my body was not meant to be on those medicines. And there are people who need to be on pharmaceuticals, so I'm not poo-pooing that. I write plenty of prescriptions in my practice. But for me, those words that he said to me, Dani, what are you eating? Do you know your diet controls your disease? What? Those 4 gastroenterologists that I had seen through all those years never once said, what are you eating, Dani? What are you eating? You have diarrhea because of something you're eating. You're bloating because of something you're eating.
What were you eating? What were you eating in those days?
Oh my gosh, I was eating, well, you really want to know? Betty Crocker, frosting, milk chocolate, icing. When I would get stressed out, I would go to the grocery. I kept a spoon in my car. It was literally my crack. I don't do drugs. I've never smoked any of that.
Hey, sugar
I would
is the strongest
open
cat, yeah.
that milk
Addictive.
chocolate Betty Crocker icing and sit in that car and eat that icing. What? They never once said, don't eat put the icing down, Dani. Put the spoon down. I was eating whatever I wanted. Chick-fil-A, Sonic, I was a single mom, so I was feeding my kids 99-cent Totino's pizzas, right? Packaged, processed, bagged garbage is what I was eating, and not thinking a thing about it. Now, I also ate good food, but I also would run through the drive-thru, and I was letting somebody else out their window control my health. I didn't know any better, and I spent $200,000. When Dr. Kalb said this to me, what are you eating? I was $200,000 in debt to Vanderbilt student loans. Right, I just gotten out of nurse practitioner school.
And didn't know nothing about it.
Knew nothing.
Yeah,
I knew how to treat my heartburn with Nexium. I knew how to treat my migraine headaches with Imitrex, right? But I didn't know that there was a root cause for everything going on in my body, everything going on in your body, in their body, in your body. There's a root cause for it. I wasn't born sick.
Yeah, no, you got that way. Well, for those that didn't see you on the program the last time, what are the major culprits that we need to get rid of in the standard American diet?
So there are 7 that are extremely inflammatory to us. Now, there are hundreds of foods, and someone may be sensitive to an avocado.
Before you move on and talk about those 7, somebody might not know what inflammation means, but tell us what inflammation causes in the body.
Inflammation causes systemic,
Overall,
all over your body, pain or what have you. We know that the root cause of 100% of all chronic lifestyle diseases is an inflammatory process. An inflammatory process is heat basically in your body, right? So inflammation is a good thing in small numbers, right? Inflammation is what comes to if you cut yourself, it's an inflammatory process that starts to heal that. But when it goes crazy and systemic, full body, that's when our blood pressure goes up. That's when our diabetes gets turned on, or our headaches, or our joint pain, or high cholesterol. I mean, the list goes on and on for chronic lifestyle diseases. That's inflammation. Inflammation is created, number one, by food. Number 2, by not sleeping. Number 3, by not moving, right?
Yeah.
So all those things add up. But the number one reason for inflammation in your body is what's at the end of your fork,
Yeah.
right?
What we're eating's killing us.
You bet it is.
So I interrupted you, and you were going to tell us 6 things that are very important.
7.
All right, 7's even better.
There are 7 foods that we know are extremely inflammatory. Gluten, dairy, soy, corn, sugar, eggs, and peanuts. Those are the top 7 inflammatory food. And yes, eggs are in there, and they're the perfect protein, right? But they are extremely inflammatory to a lot of people. Gluten, dairy, sugar are the top 3. They are the white processed devils, right? They're
really
all
are.
white.
And they're so addictive.
You bet they are. They're extremely addictive. And the food industry knows that. So gluten, dairy, sugar for sure are in everything, right? That's processed, packaged, bagged, the standard American diet. Mm-hmm. If your food in your cabinet is going to be there next year, it is fake food. You've got to have food on your countertops and in your refrigerator that it has an expiration date, like soon, next week.
So you need to go back to nature as close as possible. As close to it coming off a tree or a plant.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly right. And as simple as 1 ingredient food, right? Just 1 ingredient food. You don't need fancy
all right,
food.
so if I eat a 1 ingredient food, let's say I eat a sweet potato, can I put something on it to make it taste a little better?
Sure,
butter?
if you want, but butter's dairy.
Butter's dairy, so we can stay away from butter.
So I eat
coconut
ghee.
oil.
You can put coconut oil, but I don't even put anything on my sweet potatoes. Here's the problem. We have gotten so used to food that doesn't taste like food that we don't even know what a sweet potato tastes like. We have no idea what, green peas taste like with not just the green peas or anything. It could be anything. We cover everything up.
Now, Terrell, you and I both know that was so much great information, and I'm sure people enjoyed it. In fact, you and I were talking about, and we won't say who, one of your loved ones that has some health issues, and you said that you want to share Dani's information with that person so that they could heal their body.
Yes, and if you can tell someone else that is having these health issues, and doctors and medicines help, but they don't cure, there are other ways, and this could be one of them. If you would recommend to people who have a need for their health to improve, just these simple basic things of stuff that you can cut out that is harmful, it really, like he said, can be life-saving. In the past, I also had someone that was very close to me who had inflammation all over their body to the point where it was very hard for them to get around. So I'm familiar somewhat with the struggles that people go through, and God did make things that are good for us.
Yeah, and so she's not sharing who that is, so I won't give her secret away, but friends, I've lost 2 wives to untimely deaths. My first wife, Diane, died when she was like 50 years of age with breast cancer. And my wife, Lanita, died, as you know, and almost 2 years ago and just dropped dead. And I believe that we could have all improved our health if we'd made some of these changes that Dani recommends in her book, Wild and Well. And what I love about her program is it's a lifestyle change. It's not something that I've done in the past where I've gone and done these extreme diets and got in great condition, but then as soon as I got in good condition, I went back to the standard American diet. And Dani's program, I think, is one that I can use to get in great shape again, but sustain the rest of my life. Now, friends, if you like our program, we're trying to share information to enrich your life, to help your life. We're trying to share stuff that's funny and fun and all of that good stuff. But would you please subscribe to our program and watch the program on a regular basis? And, we have a ministry where we share the gospel on television, and Latrell and I travel and make documentaries, and she makes CDs, and we try to share the gospel, and you can help our ministry just by subscribing to our channel. So we want to thank you so much for watching the program today. Is there anything you want to say as we close?
Well, I was thinking we can change our sad diet into a glad diet, and that will change our life.
Yeah, well, so we know SAD is standard American diet. GLAD would be God. You've got to do something with,
Life.
I don't know what we do with the AD.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Thanks for watching us today. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next edition of That's White-Haired Wisdom Trail.
It is white-haired wisdom.
See ya. Bye-bye.